Hey, welcome to coming to this webinar. We're so glad you came today. I know that this is going to provide a ton of value for you. We're going to talk about some things that I think every business owner needs to hear, which is what their biggest struggles are. In most cases, especially if you're a service-based business, these are some of your biggest struggles. Number one is going to be is lead generation. How do I get enough leads to keep myself busy, to keep my employees busy, to keep myself going? How do I make sure we have enough leads coming in every single day to keep all our guys and gals working to make sure we stay in business? Because every business fails with two reasons: a lack of money and a lack of sales. Where a lack of money comes from a lack of sales, a lack of sales comes from a lack of leads. So lead generation is so important when it comes to your business. If you're not generating leads for your business, you need to ask yourself, why am I not generating leads for my business? What is it that I'm struggling with right now in my business that's not allowing me to make it work? We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about different methods to use, different ways to do this, things that don't cost money, things that cost a little bit of money, things that can cost a lot of money. But at the end of the day, without leads, you have no business. You have no business without a client, because money never exchanges hands until a problem is solved. When you solve a problem where it comes from, the money exchanges hands that same day, at that same time, when you solve that problem for that client. All right, so number two, we're going to talk about this: maximizing profits on every single job you go to. If you're not learning how to maximize the profits on every single job you go to, then, well, guess what? You're not making the most of that job. You're losing money on every single job is what I'm trying to tell you. We're going to talk about how to maximize and find things and find opportunities on everything that you do in your business. No matter what kind of business you're in, no matter what kind of service-based business you're in, you can always find better ways to maximize your time, your money, your energy, your profits in every part that you do in your business. So excited. Okay, number three is this, guys. Check it out: hiring the right talent. We hear this all the time: there's just nobody to hire. And sometimes you're right. It's challenging to find new employees. It's challenging to find really good employees. It's challenging to find competent people who can really make a big difference for you. It really is. But we're going to focus on something different today. We're going to focus on changing a few small things that make the difference when it comes to finding the right talent and or utilizing the talent that you have and making them the right talent. That's going to be key for your business right there, is how do I maximize what I do? Now, we're talking about maximizing profits. We're also going to talk about maximizing our talent that we already have in front of us. And this is going to be key for your business's success, is learning how to maximize your talents. That makes all the difference. Okay, so let's get going here. So excited. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching this. I'm so grateful that you came to watch this. Let's make some magic happen today. Let's make some things happen that's just going to blow you away. I know this is going to help your business, okay? I've done all these things myself for many, many, many years. I've owned 5 different service companies since 2008. I've owned a couple of businesses that didn't go anywhere because I just realized I didn't like them. That's the normal thing when you get an entrepreneur. They're trying things, things work, things don't work. That's okay. But what I found is these are the 3 most common things that hold a business back are, which what we talked about: the lead generation, maximizing profits, and talent. Talent acquisition is huge in your business. It makes a big, big difference. Okay, so let's get going here. So I want you to think about this. The number one thing I see in almost every single business is a lack of implementation, of doing the simple things consistently that move the ball forward in your business. Implementation is the number one thing. The lack of implementation is the number one thing that keeps people where they are. They don't implement or do what they know they should have done, so therefore their business sort of stays in this rut, and they never move forward with making their business better. They never move forward making their life better because they lack the basic skills of implementation. All right, so check this out. If you don't understand what to implement, sometimes you stay stuck to equally as much as not implementing things you should implement. You have to sort of know what to implement and what not to implement, what to do and what not to do. All these things make a big difference for you. This is what we do. We teach you how and what to do in certain things, in certain areas of your business, so you know what to implement and what brings the biggest impact to what you're implementing. Sounds crazy, right? But hey, listen, it's not crazy at all. The truth is this: your business can be whatever you want it to be, but you've got to become better at being a business owner. So let me share one of my number one rules. When I think lead generation, I think in marketing and advertising, different ways to generate leads. There's different ways you could do this. I think like this: you never sign contracts. That's my number one rule. If you're going to hire anybody to do advertising for your business, marketing for your business, you never sign a contract. No, what? Why do I never sign a contract? That is huge. That's so important. Why you would never sign a contract? What if it doesn't work? What if what you're doing isn't working and you're stuck on a 12-month contract? And guess what? You still got to pay the contract. You can't get out of it. You're still paying for what doesn't work. This is why we force companies who we use to generate leads for our businesses to work on a month-to-month basis where you can cancel it at any time you want. I know a guy right now, he's paying $40,000 a year for just basic website SEO. It's crazy. Because we can get them the same thing with even better SEO for $4,000 a year. Not an issue at all. Simple to do. The point I'm trying to make to you is this. Don't sign contracts for marketing or advertising, because if it doesn't work, you need to be able to get out of it. And if you can't get out of it, you're still stuck paying it. And for years, that was the requirement by so many marketing companies. You look at the yellow pages, all the different phone books, different places like that, they would always force you to sign a 12-month contract. If you got a billboard, well, you're paying a 12-month contract, or whatever contract you negotiated. There was always a contract that you negotiated with that billboard, or benches, or magazines, or something else. For years and years and years, you always had to sign that contract. Think about this. If you're not getting any calls from what you're doing, and you're stuck in this, and you're like, well, what do I do? I'm still stuck having to pay for this. It's not going forward. Nothing's happening. I'm not getting any calls, but yet I'm still paying $2,000 a month for this, $3,000 a month for this, $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month for this. When you start growing your business, you're going to find that you're going to spend some money on advertising. It's going to be the norm. You're going to spend money on ads to make leads come into your business, depending on what kind of business you are. Now, there are different things that you can do in your business that which we're going to talk about today that help you to market your business without you spending little to no money at all in your business. That's going to be key for you to grow as a successful company, is figure out what I can do right now that doesn't cost me money. That's going to be huge. Figure out right now what I can do that's not going to cost me money, or it's going to cost me just a small amount of money, but it still gives a big impact to my business. Okay? All right. So look, so excited. Here we go. You ready? So remember this. The quickest way to go broke is what? By not having a system in place to handle the leads that come into your business, to handle the new clients that come into your business. When you get a lead, it's either it's by the phone or it's in person, the quickest way to go broke is by spending money on leads that you don't have a system in place to handle. So before I start showing you how to generate leads, I want you to think about the process of what systems do you have in place right now to grow your business? What systems do you have in place at this very moment to grow your company? If your phone rings, who answers the phone? How do they answer the phone? There's a right way, there's a wrong way, 100%. When you're answering your phone as a business, you better answer it correctly. There are 3 simple processes that we use in answering the phone. We always thank them for calling, because remember, without a client, you have no business. So we always thank them for calling. We always show empathy. We always want to relate to them. We show some empathy when they're about their problem. And we always show assurance. There's a right way to answer the phone. There's a right way to deal with a client, especially when it's a new client. You have to be thinking about what processes and systems do you have in place if you're going to flood your business with leads, so you know how to handle them and fulfill those leads, the needs, the wants that these new clients or existing clients have. I see too many people in the businesses of trades and service businesses who don't know how to answer their phone. They don't have a system in place where their phone gets answered. Because when I go into what I'm about to teach you guys in regards to lead generation, I promise you one thing. It is going to blow your mind when you look at how much money you can lose so fast. And the quickest way you go broke is by spending too much money on ads that you can't control or monitor or make the most of, because you had no system or process in place to be able to handle that. Let's say you had a person in place to answer your calls, but they weren't trained how to answer the calls. Seriously, if they're not trained on how to answer the calls, you need to come up with a solution or a training program to make sure they understand how to answer phone calls when they call your office, when they walk into your store, when they walk into whatever business you have. You have to have a process in place that you can teach and train your staff on so you can be successful in what you're doing. Listen, you need to be able to track every phone call. If you're going to get phone calls that come into your business, you need to be able to track these phone calls. And when I say track them, I want you to have them as recorded calls so that you can go back to them and listen to them. Then you can see where they came from. Let's say I'm spending $2,000 a month on one ad source, and I want to see, let's say I got 10 calls. Well, if I got 10 calls from that ad source, I want to know out of those 10 calls, how many of those actually turn into clients? And then out of those clients, how many of those turn into revenue, and how much revenue those turn into, to make sure I understand what my marketing spend is compared to what I'm bringing in revenue-wise. Let's say you're spending $2,000 a month, but you're only bringing in $1,000 a month off your leads. Well, ask the question, is that a good source of expenditures when it comes to your leads? You're spending the money on the leads, but you're only getting $1,000 a month out of $2,000. Well, that's not even close to enough. You're not even covering your lead cost or your employee cost or the phone cost or the bills cost. There's a problem there. So learning how to maximize everything that you do in your business is going to be key to your business's success. And that all starts with one thing: training. Training. I can't tell you enough how important this one thing is training is the number one thing that helps you to maximize every single thing in your business. If you don't learn how to train people, if you don't learn how to train yourself or get trained by somebody, you're going to struggle in your business. Now, you want more leads for your business, and I love it. I'm so excited that you want more leads for your business. This is the best thing ever. You want the leads for your business. You want to grow your company. You want to make it an amazing company, but you have to have processes and systems in place before you start flooding your business with leads you're not prepared to handle. Hopefully, does that make sense? I mean, hopefully that makes sense. If you're not ready to handle the lead flow, then you're not ready to spend the money. Build the processes and systems first, and it allows you very quickly, just like that, to handle these calls. Have a script. If you're going to have someone to answer your phone or yourself answer your phone, learn to use a script. Learn to use a script as a guide to how to answer your phone. It makes it so much easier for you. It makes it so much easier for when you're trying to answer this call, you're like, oh my God, that's so much better. You want every call to flow because you're going to have objections. You're going to have rebuttals. You're going to have problems you've never heard of before. You're going to have things you've never dealt with before. And that's the best part about this, is that you're going to have all these things that you've never done before. But if you train, probably train with the right mentors, with the right people, whether it's reading a book or hiring a mentor, hiring a business coach, or whatever it is, you need to always be training so you can train your own staff or have your staff come to training as well to learn new skills to maximize every single call, every single job. Because part of what we're talking about maximizing profits on every job, maximizing how you do what you do every time you do it. It makes the biggest difference when you maximize things in your business. Don't cheat yourself or your clients out of opportunities. So now, we're going to get moving on this process of lead generation right here, right now. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. Who's your customer? It's good to know this. What target area do you want to work in? Good to know this. Let's say you're a service-based business where you go out to clients' homes. And a lot of the clients that I work with are all service-based businesses where they go out to clients' homes. Now, if they go out to a client's home, that's great. But remember this. You want to know what areas I do want to work in, what area brings the biggest impact to my business, what area brings the most profit to my business, what geographical areas are the best ones that we want to work in. Let's say you can work in a giant county, but you're driving an hour to a job or an hour and a half to a job. Is that really a good use of your time when you have about 1 million other people in just a 30-minute radius from where you are? Then out of that 30-minute radius from where you are, you have to ask yourself, is everything in this 30-minute radius where I want to physically work? We can tell you that we didn't want to work on this zip code, this zip code, this zip code, this zip code, this zip code. We had a list of zip codes we did not want to work in because they were not the best for our business. We want to remember, we want to maximize what we do and everything that we do. And part of it is understanding who your customer is and where your customer lives. Let's say you're a service business owner and you are working inside homes or businesses. Well, so who's your customer? Your customer is a homeowner. They own their home. They have the ability to pay their bills. They have a job that allows them to pay for bills and save money. Do you see where I'm going with this? Is I'm looking for what I want out of a client. I'm looking, do they probably have maybe a two income household? The point of what I'm trying to tell you is I want you to think through who your customers are, where they live, what kind of cars they drive, what kind of houses they live in, and what their spending habits are sort of like. And you can drive down through a neighborhood and look and see what spending habits are like in a lot of houses. You can just go look at their cars, look at their landscaping, look at their property. Does their property have lines in it when it's mowed? They're probably using a lawn service. So you know if they're using a lawn service, they probably highlight other things for what they need done in their business. This is the point here is understand who your client is, and this helps you to maximize your opportunity when you work with a client. It makes all the difference for you. I promise you. It'll change your life. It'll change it all. It's going to make your life better. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? We're going to answer your calls, losing money, and dispatches. So this is an important metric I want you to remember. And I'm about to jump in. Look, it's right here. I'm about to jump into lead generation, where you can get leads from, where you can do all these things, but I want to just build just this foundation for you first, because I can give you 80 different things to do to get leads. But if you don't understand these next 3 things I'm about to teach you, then it's probably not going to help you a lot. I can get you all the leads in the world, but you may be losing more money than you are spending. It's just not going to be worth your time. All right, so here we go. Answering your calls. Who's going to answer your call? We talked about that. Answering your calls, and making sure every call is answered. Let's say you're spending $50 per lead. So when you do lead programs, or when you start to generate leads, there is a cost of acquisition to get a client. That cost of acquisition to get a client, if you're doing like paper lead sources or paper call sources or pay per click sources, there is a cost of acquisition, cost to acquire a client that you have to think about. No, we're just going to use a round number here. We're going to use 50. $50 for a phone call, per lead that comes into your business. And look, we're going to say it's a phone call because the person calls your phone, calls your office that day. And let's say you don't have a system in place or a process in place to answer your phones, and you have 2 calls that come in that day that get missed. What typically happens when someone has a need or a problem they want solved, if they call a number, they typically go to the next person in the line of who they're going to call. They're not going to just wait on the hold for you and hopefully you call them back. They're going to call somebody else. You just lost a call. So now let's say we lost 2 calls a day. 2 calls a day we did not answer because we were too busy. We didn't have a way to make sure they were going to be answered. We didn't have a process or a system in place to make sure they were answered. So 2 missed calls a day equals what? $100 a day. $50 leads, $100 a day. So now let's say we do that 5 days a week. We just find it to where we're busy out in the field. We don't have a lot of time, and we're working. We're trying to manage our business. We're trying to manage, answer calls, trying to manage give it S. We're trying to manage all the different things that we do in our business. We miss 2 calls a day. That's $100 a day. It's $500 a week on a 5-day work week. Think about what that comes out to. If you would imagine that you're losing around $1,000 a week. Oh, look at that. $1,000 a week. That's $100. No, $500 a week, $2,000 a month. I'm sorry, $2,000 a month is what you're losing. That's $24,000 a year that you're losing in expense that you just spent on leads that you did not, and because you didn't answer your phone twice. Twice in a day, you missed a call. It's $50 per call. You just lost $24,000 for a year is what it costs you for you not answer the phone, because you did not take the time to create a system or put a process in place to answer your phone. That's the worst thing you'll ever do. Have a process, have a system, have something in place that allows you to answer your phone and to answer your phone freely to where you can maximize the call. If you're not maximizing the call, you're just losing opportunity. 100%. Now let's say this. Now let's say your average service ticket. Let's say you're a plumbing company, an HVAC company, electrical company, landscaper, carpet cleaner. Let's just say your average ticket is $500 per call that you go out to. Per job that you do, they say the average ticket is $500. Once we're using round numbers. Let's say we missed those 2 calls. We know we lost $100 there just for missing 2 calls at $50 a piece. Now we have an average service ticket of $500. We just lost $1,000 in gross revenue that day in potential revenue because we missed a call twice. Because we know if our average ticket is around $500, well, we missed 2 calls. That means we missed the money we lost the money on the calls, and we also lost $1,000 potential revenue that we could have generated if we would have just answered the call. Now let's break this down. Let's say we went to 5 days a week. That happened twice a day, 5 days a week. Now we're at what? Think about that. $5,000. We're at around $240,000 a year. We just lost in potential revenue. You see where I'm telling you this? Having a system and process in place is going to be the key factor in order for your business to succeed. In order for you to maximize everything that you do, you have to have some simple processes in place as to how your phones are going to be answered, who's going to manage those, who's going to handle those. All these things make the difference for your business. So before you decide to just start blowing a lot of money on advertising and generating marketing and leads and everything under the sun, I want you to think of one thing and one thing only. What processes and systems do I have in place that are going to make sure I don't lose money? I don't lose opportunity. Now let's say, look, we lost $100 a day on 2 leads a day. We lost $1,000 a day on 2 missed calls based on an average service ticket of $500. But now let's look at the bigger picture. What's the lifetime value of a client? Let's say your lifetime value of a client, over a lifetime, they'll do $10,000 worth of work with you. Now we just lost $20,000 over a lifetime of clients in one day. In one day. Isn't that insane? Think about that. That's $100,000 in a week you lost over a lifetime because you didn't answer the phone twice. So I go back to this. What systems and processes do you have in place before you start to generate leads for your business? Now, we're going to teach you. Look, I got it written down here. We're going to teach you how to generate your leads for your business. We're going to go through all these things to generate leads for your business. This is a normal thing. We're going to teach this, but I want you to get it in your head. I want you to just, I want to drive this home so much before I start teaching that part that you have to have simple things in place to make sure that you can answer your phones and make sure they're answered correctly by the right person who can manage that call, who's been trained to answer calls, who's been trained to deal with objections, who's been trained to deal with rebuttals, who's been trained to just make sure they know how to maximize everything they say and do on that call to make it worth your business as well. This is key. So what you don't want to do is lose money. You don't want to lose money. We talk about how much money you're going to lose. Potentially, that's horrible. Now, the last part of this one, we look at answering your calls, losing money, and then dispatching. Let's say you are a service provider and you go out to a client's house to do work. It could be a house cleaner, it could be a window cleaner, it could be all different kinds of services, plumbers, electricians, HVAC. It doesn't matter what it is. Every person you have on your team who is a service technician or a service provider that works in the field, they all have strengths and they all have different weaknesses. We're all different in every single way. I can tell you for a fact, they're not all going to be able to do the same job the same way in every single way. But what I can tell you is this, is you need to learn to understand all their strengths, all their weaknesses, who's good at what, who's bad at what. Because what you don't want to do, when we think about dispatching, we want to dispatch for profit. Dispatch the right guy, the right girl for maximization of profits on every single call. See how important that is? If you have a service technician who is bad at something, we don't want to send that person to that specific kind of job if we know they're not good at that. We don't want to send a guy out to do an estimate on a big remodel if they've never done one before. We want to send out an estimator to do that estimation. We don't want to send out an electrician to go do a plumbing job. You wouldn't want to do that now, would you? Because some companies they're intertwined with plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and different services. So we don't want to dispatch the wrong people out to the job, because what happens? We don't get to maximize that job because they don't know what to do, for one. Then typically for two, they're going to probably lose the job because they don't feel competent enough to do the job. So when you lack competence, you lack confidence. When you send the right person out to a job, roll their shoulders back, they're standing straight up, they're excited about the job because they're very competent in what they know how to do. Simplifies the process very quickly. So think about this for your own business. What are my processes and systems for answering my calls, entering my calls into the system? I'm going to dispatch the calls, who I'm dispatching the calls to, what's the follow-up method, what's the process for making sure the client was taken care of, what's the process for making sure your service technician maximized everything on the job they possibly could, what's the process of looking for the why on the job. We're going to talk about maximizing here a little bit. But I'm telling you right now, if you can get this one thing in your head, that I need to make sure I have a system in place to answer my calls, to dispatch my calls, to make sure I'm not losing money, to make sure I'm dispatching the right people, it's going to change the whole dynamic of your business. And I repeated this a lot. You know why I repeated it a lot? Because I still see companies every single day who don't get this one thing right. That's the hardest part. And if you're not making the most to get this one thing right, I promise you it's going to be way more challenging than it has to be. Take the time to do it right. This is what we do as a business coaching company, is we train you on how to create opportunities, to maximize profits. We train you to do all these things here at my company, the Win Life Group. We literally go out of our way to make sure you have scripts, your staff, and they know what to do. They know how to do it. This is what we do to help you grow your business. It's what we love to do. All right, so let's go on with this now, okay? We're going to talk about lead generation. So lead generation, I think, is so important for your business because there are certain ways to generate leads that don't cost you money. There are ways to generate leads that cost you a lot of money. And then there's ways to generate leads that cost you just a little bit of money. But each thing has a different kind of impact. But once again, don't get a lead if you don't know how to maximize the lead. Okay, all right, lead generation. So we always want to make sure we have it. We always want to do an audit of what you're doing currently. Is what we always do. Like if you're working with me, the first thing we're going to do an audit of your business. We're going to do an audit of what you guys do for your website, your SEO, your marketing, your advertising, what plans you guys do, what you guys do social media wise, all these different things. So when we look at lead generation, we look at from different perspectives. We will look at the SEO part of it. We look at guerrilla marketing, we look at social media, pay-per-call programs, pay-per-click programs, and different things like that. We want to make sure that whatever you're doing to its maximum abilities to make sure you're making the most of it. So when I think of your website, I think of your website should be SEO. SEO, search engine optimized, is what your website should be. Whoever builds your website should be optimizing your website on a monthly basis to make sure they're going through, they're looking at the backlinks, they're updating the content, they're adding blogs, they're adding information. They've got a review link on there. They've got all these different things in place to allow your website to function and show up on Google, on Bing, on the different local search engines. This makes a big difference for your website. You want to make sure whoever's doing this it's in the program of what you're paying for, that they're optimizing this for you. Now, we use a company that we would suggest, but we're not going to suggest it on the webinar here, but we use a company specifically just for this purpose of if you are a contractor of any kind, whether it could be a landscaper, a house cleaner, whatever it is, we have a company who can build you a phenomenal website that's SEO optimized, has a page for every single location, has a page for every single service that you offer. It's a great site. It's inexpensive. It costs $249 a month is all it costs. It costs you $249 a month to get started. Then it's just $249 a month forward. You're not spending $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. You're spending $249 a month to have an SEO optimized website that's actually really, really, really good. How do I know this? I have friends who had that website. I referred this same company to many, many, many people. And if you want to know more about that company, just reach out to me and I'll gladly let you know who this company is, because this company can definitely help you with your website. So let's talk about SEO. So we talk about the SEO. We want to make sure they're just doing everything they can for your website to make sure it's done. Now, part of your SEO also is I want you to get listed on as many sites as possible. Think about every single kind of site you can list your website on. There are probably 100 sites that you can list your website on that are local sites that you just don't know exist. It's going to take you just a little bit of time to go through each site. You're just going to go through each site. You're going to list your business on that site. You may never get business from a lot of those, but you might get business from a lot of those as well. You just don't know. The goal is to have your website, your links, all your things listed on as many sites as possible, because some of those people are just on a different site that you don't ever go to, you've never heard of. Just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean they don't go to it. They're on it, and all of a sudden you pop up, and there you are, and you're like, oh, hey, look at that. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, hey, look at that. You see what I mean? We want to make sure we can provide you with a list of places that you can put your website, put your business information in there, so it gives you the biggest opportunity. Now, look, this is going to take you about 6 hours of your time. I spread it out over a week. You're going to go through, and you're just going to go through, and we'll give you a complete list of this. We'll give you a complete list. That way you can understand exactly what it is, where all the different places, where they are, what they do, and how they can help your business. At the end of the day, you're not going to spend any money on any one of these things. It's just like when you go to Google, you do your Google listing page. It didn't cost you anything, just a little bit of time. Do your Bing page, didn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. Your Yahoo page didn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. Your Microsoft Network, it didn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. Your Yelp didn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. Do you see what I mean? We want to get you on as many platforms as possible where it doesn't cost you a dime, where as many eyes as possible can see you potentially, so you can grow. We're trying to grow the SEO part of your business and the search engine optimization. We're optimizing your web. We're going to put a link on your website. If your website on every single one of these places, we're also going to put your business listing on who your business is, your business name, your business address, your business phone number, your business email, your business website. all these things are going to be associated with this place, with this place, with this place, with this place, with this place. Like I said, we probably got like 100 of them that we can send you. If you want those, just reach out to me, because I'm not going to be able to give them all to you here on this webinar. I just can't do it. But if you want more, just reach out to me. You can always reach out to me at 314-591-0479. Shoot me a text, shoot me a call. Say, hey, look, I watched your webinar. I really want to get some more information, and we can gladly help you with that, okay? All right, so let's go on to the next one. Guerrilla marketing. Yes. People say, well, I don't know what to do to advertise. I don't have any money. Well, great. If you don't have any money, guerrilla marketing is going to be your best place to start. When I started my first company in 2008, I started a plumbing company. I remember I had no money, started my business with a credit card, bought a $3,000 van, and I'm like, well, what do I do for marketing my business? Yes, I had very limited money that I could spend on marketing my business. So what I joined the Chamber of Commerce, the local Chamber of Commerce where I lived. And I spent I think I spent $200 on that for the whole year. For the whole year, $200. Cheap. The point is this, is I had to start somewhere. So I started with networking. So I started going to chamber events, started networking, meeting people, getting to know people. And instantly, week one, just like that, we started getting work coming in because I was networking. Networking doesn't cost you money, but it does cost you time. If you're unwilling to go network your business, share your business with other people, you're probably never going to stay in business, because at the end of the day, you're looking for ways to generate business that doesn't cost you money. And networking is one of the greatest ways you can do that for your business. You can do that through chambers of commerce, you can do it through networking events, through BNIs, all these different places you can do this through that can help you network your business. You can do door to door, you can do cold calls. All these things can work for you. But we also go back to, who's your client? And who I'm networking with, are these my clients? Who could I partner with? What strategic partnerships could I have to help my business grow? Who can I refer work to that would refer work back to me? Let's say you're a plumbing company and you want to refer work to an electrician, to an HVAC, to a carpet cleaner, to a house cleaner, to this, to a construction guy, to a remodeler, to this guy. You're going to refer work out to 10 different people, but also in return, you're looking for them to refer work back to you as a whole. That's going to make the big difference for you. It really is. The goal is to create a network of people that you can share leads with, because if it's an electrician, he's on a job, well, he doesn't do plumbing. But if you create a relationship with, and you're sending work his way on a regular basis, just like that, he'll probably start sending work back to you. So you look for ways in guerrilla marketing to grow your business where it doesn't cost you any money, or it costs you little to no money to market your business, for people to get to know who you are. People will never do business with you primarily for one reason, and one reason only. They don't know you exist. That's it. The number one reason people don't do business with you is because they don't know you exist. They don't know your company exists. And if they don't know your company exists, well, that's the problem. You have to make sure they know your company exists, because if they don't, well, you're just cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself out of an opportunity, and you're cheating them out of the opportunity to work with you. So your job is to make sure you list your business everywhere imaginable for people to be able to find you, and network with as many people as you possibly can, so everybody can find you as well. All right, so let's go on to number 2 here. So when talking about guerrilla marketing, we're looking at vehicle wraps. You can wrap your vehicle or put lots of signs on your vehicle. You can put lettering on your vehicles, on your vans, on your cars, or whatever you have. It's just a good way for people to see your business, for them to want to call you. When I started my first company, we had a small 4-door, just a 4-door sedan car, silver one. What I did was I got a magnet. And it wasn't a work van, but I got a magnet with my business name on it. The magnet was probably like 12 inches by 12 inches, and I stuck it on the doors of the car. I was pulled into Office Max. I just had that magnet on, pulled into an Office Max to go in there and buy some stuff that I needed for my office. Just like that, a guy calls and says, hey, I was just outside an Office Max, and I just saw that you guys had a magnet on your car with your company name. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. And so we had a conversation. And for the next 7 years, I built a phenomenal relationship with this guy, to where we were able to, just like that, build a great business with him. We started, he owned a construction company. He needed a plumbing company to work with him. A simple magnet generated me probably several $100,000 in business over a 7-year period. That's a pretty good gig, right? So once again, it didn't cost me anything but just the cost of a magnet, which was like probably $20 at that time. But it made the biggest difference for my business. is I did something to push the needle forward to make sure that people knew that I existed as a business. All right, so let's go to the next one. Yard signs. Yard signs are a big one. You can get yard signs. You can get yard signs for pretty cheap. Every time you're at a job, put a yard sign or go put yard signs in the corners. Just make sure you know your local laws in regards to doing yard signs. That makes a difference. Emails. Collecting emails is a big thing. Remember, we're talking about guerrilla marketing where it costs you little to no money to market your business to where you can generate leads without having to spend lots of dollars on leads. Because if you're not willing to do this, you probably shouldn't go spend money on any leads in the first place. All these things you should be doing anyway on a daily basis. So I look at emails. Emails is, what does it cost you? It costs you, you just type it in and you're done. And you send an email and you are providing value. And then you're letting them know who you are. And an email could be just something, hey, look, Miss Jones, looks like winter's coming up. Make sure you winterize your house, get your house ready for the winter. It's just becoming top of mind, becoming aware. Email is a great way to market your business where it doesn't cost you money. Cold calls. What does a cold call cost you? You get on your phone, guess what? What did it cost you? It costs you just one thing, a little bit of your time. You can get in a phone book. You can call real estate agents, property managers, construction companies. There are so many things you can do to market your business, to generate business. But also remember this, is that person your customer? Is that the person you want to do business with? Are they the ones who fit your idea customer of who you want to do business with? So when you start thinking about marketing your business, make sure you're aware of who you're marketing it to. All right, next one. Friends, families, and neighbors. Friends, families, and neighbors. All three of these are equally important. As soon as you start your business, or if you're in business now, you just send out a text to every one of your friends, every one of your family members, every one of your neighbors that you know that you have in your contacts. Send them a text message. Say, hey, guys, guess what? I just started this company. Would you mind referring me to your friends? Would you mind sharing it on social media? Would you mind sharing it here and sharing it there? Get your friends and your family and your neighbors become your allies in helping you grow your business. Isn't this what we're for? Isn't this what we're all for? We all want to see our businesses grow. We all want to see each one of us become better in some way, shape, or form. So utilize this. Stop being so afraid to offend somebody by asking them. You get 100% of what you don't ask for. So ask your friends, your family, your neighbors, shoot them a text message. Guys, I just started this business. I'm so excited, but I'm really going to need your help to grow this business. Could you help me by referring my business out? Could you help me by leaving me a review on Google if I've done business with you? Could you help me in some way, shape, or form grow this business through networking? You're just networking with these people. Maybe you throw a big barbecue at your house and invite all your friends and families and neighbors over all at the same time, say, and just make a giant announcement. Hey guys, guess what? I started a business and this is what I do. And I need your help. It works. What doesn't work is you not doing nothing. That's what doesn't work. If you don't do anything, you can't expect to get anything out of it. You can't just sit there hoping to God your phone rings. You've got to be proactive every single day to make the needle move forward in your business. If you're not, all you've done is hurt yourself and hurt your business. It makes the difference for you. All right, next one here is this, okay? Door-to-door, flyers, door hangers. So let's say you're at a job right now. You go to a customer's house, you're at a job, go next door, put a flyer on the door, go next door, put a flyer on the door, go next door, put out 5 or 6 flyers. Knock on the doors, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm with so-and-so company. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here just to introduce myself. I did some work at your neighbor's house. And leave it at that. If they want to know more, they'll ask you more, but you didn't try to sell them in. You just give them some information to know, I was at your neighbor's house. They did work with me. You didn't try to sell them anything. It's simple little things like this that move the needle forward on a daily basis. You're already at the job. You're already in the neighborhood. You're already there. So make sure you do it. Take the time to do it. It makes the difference for you. Okay. All right. Next one is this. Parking lots. I know this sounds crazy, but you can go to a parking lot. You can put a business card or a flyer under a windshield wiper or something like that. I know some people don't like this, but I mean, I've done it many, many, many times in the past over the years. I put like a flyer on a windshield, marketing my business, or at a school event or someplace like that where you're already there. There's tons of cars. Just put 5 or 6 out. Keep them in your car. Put 5 or 6 out. Give people a chance to get to know your business. Now, could they throw them away? Of course they could throw them away. But you don't know unless you try. You have to at least try. All right, next one is this, is asking for referrals on a daily basis. Every client you go to, I know we talk about your families, your friends, and your neighbors. Now we ask for, if you go to a job, ask for referrals from your existing clients. Ask for referrals from your clients that you're already doing business with. Say, Miss Jones, would you mind giving me a referral? Do you know anybody else who could probably possibly use our services, use what we do? If you wouldn't mind, would you mind referring me out to your friends and your neighbors? We've already focused on our family, our friends, and our neighbors. Now we're focusing on our clients who we're doing business with. It's equally as important. Now, there are so many more things you can do for guerrilla marketing. I told one company, I said, look, since you're on a busy street, park your vans right out there on the side of the street where everybody can see it when they're driving by in the mornings. I said, stand outside with a sign, hold a sign up, say good morning to whatever city you're in. They're going to remember you. They're going to see that as you're coming, they're going to see all your vans. They're going to see you guys out. They're going to see who you are as a company. And it's just simple things that get their attention. Remember this, what's different is what gets noticed. What's different is what gets noticed. That's the big thing about it, is if you learn to do things that are different, it gets noticed the quickest and the fastest. That's what makes the biggest difference. Do different things, do weird things, do awkward things. It all helps grow your business. You're trying to do things that don't cost you money. And these are things you can do every day. It doesn't take you really any more time than what you're already doing. Just do something versus sitting around hoping to God your phone rings. Sitting around hoping does not make it ring, does not make your business better, does not get you more clients. What makes it better is you taking action every single day to make it work for your business, okay? All right, so excited. All right, let's move on to the next one. Social media. Yeah, there's a lot to this marketing thing. There's a lot to this marketing. Social media doesn't cost you any money else to post on social media. You can go to Facebook. Well, I put down Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Nextdoor. All of these are just social media platforms where you can post for free. You can post information for free every single day for your business, sharing your business, sharing videos, sharing ideas, sharing solutions, sharing how you solve problems for people, sharing new things about your business, what you do, how you do it. All these things make a difference. Now, if you're going to post on social media, I suggest you post on social media probably twice a day. Do it twice a day at least. You can post on Nextdoor, Facebook, LinkedIn, or you can just pick one that you want to focus on, and that's all you focus on is one platform. But the point is, I spread it out amongst a bunch of buckets versus just one bucket. I don't want to be just in one bucket. I want to be in as many buckets as possible. This makes a bigger difference for your business. The more buckets you can get your business into, the more people are going to see your business. But you're also going to find out of those 10, maybe I started posting on, maybe only 2 really produce. So then we know if we're sending and putting out in 10, only 2's producing. Now at that point we say, okay, well look, now we're just going to focus our attention on these 2 that are really produced and really producing well. That's going to make the big difference for you. That makes sense? Okay. All right. Next one. We have what we call pay per call programs. You're paying per phone call that comes into your business, especially in like service contractors. You want to get leads. You have different kinds of leads you can get, and pay-per-call programs are my favorite because you're only paying for an actual lead that you get. You're paying for a qualified lead of someone who actually wants your services or services like yours. That's all you're paying for. That lead could cost $30, $50, $100, depending on your geographical area. The point of that is pay-per-call lead programs are phenomenal to use, especially for contractors and service-based business owners. We have a list of places that we refer out. I'm not going to list them here or talk about them here on the actual call, but when I work with my clients, we have a list of all these different places that we suggest that they call and set up programs through, which generate leads for them, and that makes the biggest difference for them. It is a big life changer when you have leads coming in that you're only paying for actual leads. You're not paying for trash calls. You're paying only for legitimate leads that come into your business. Now, once we go back to answering the phone, if you don't have a system in place or a process in place to answer your phone, then don't do it. Don't spend money on things you can't manage or handle because all you've done is wasted money. It's like you've taken money out of your pocket, throw it in the trash because you didn't care about it. Have a process in place, have a system in place. It could be an answering service. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. It could be a spouse. It could be somebody. Just have somebody in place or something in place where your phones are going to get answered no matter what you do. Okay, very important. All right, next one is this. Pay-per-click programs. Pay-per-click programs are huge. Google pay-per-click, Bing pay-per-click. I like those and I don't like those, but I only do those if I have someone very, 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 very competent I trust to run those programs for me. Because if I'm doing a pay-per-click program, I can spend a lot of money very quickly because you're paying for every time someone clicks on that link that you're marketing, they may not ever call. You could be paying $60 a lead, $70 a lead, $100 a lead, $200 a lead. You just don't know. You can track those metrics. But the point is, if you don't have someone who knows how to do that and do that very well, don't spend the money on pay-per-click. It is not worth your time financially. Don't spend the money. Don't do it. But once again, we have people who can help you do that. We have people who can help you do that, who are really good at doing that, to help you maximize what you're doing. Because when you do all these things together in your business, you can grow pretty fast. You can really grow really fast as far as the business goes. So we always look at another thing we look at when you're going to get leads, we want to make sure you can turn your leads on, turn them off, pause them, increase them, slow them down. We want to make sure we call it controlling the flow of our marketing. We want to make sure you can control the flow of your marketing, because let's say you've got 6 guys or 6 gals working for you. They're all out in the field, and your week is already booked up for the whole week. And these are need-based services where they need you today. You don't want to be taking calls from them that you can't manage, because, well, they're going to call someone else who can manage it that day. They can call someone else who can handle it that day. So you want to be able to turn your leads on, turn your leads off, pause them, increase them, slow them down. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, once again, this is what we do for our clients. We help them develop these programs to where they know how to do these things. Okay, next one is this. Google local service ads. Google local service ads is a really good thing to do. It's something you can typically do on your own. You're going to get leads through Google, but there's a process that you're going to use for doing Google local service ads. And part of that process is this, is you want to make sure that you are writing down or going into the system, into your dashboard, and you're in the dashboard, you're actually going to put in there, I booked the lead, because it really helps them to want to send you more leads if they know you're actually taking the leads. Google local services ads you can do yourself, and you can also have it done for you through different companies. All these things are doable, but it's another way to generate more leads for your business. All right, so we talked a lot about leads. We talked about all the different places you can get leads, talked about the value of leads, what they cost, about how much they cost, what each one is, where you can get these things that you can do. All these things make the difference for your business. If you're not willing to do these things, well, your business is probably not going to grow. Now, you can grow businesses without spending money on leads. You can do all the guerrilla marketing, but it also depends on the kind of company you're growing. Every company is different for what they require. Some companies, I've had as many as 12 trucks that I had in the field doing a plumbing company. 12 trucks, that means I needed 36 leads a day at least for my guys to work, to stay busy on a 5-day week. You're talking about 165 leads a week that I had to have coming in just to keep my guys busy. That's a lot of leads. That means we had to market ourselves and advertise, spend money on advertising in order to keep that going. Now, I did talk to one company but they did 99% of what they did was new construction, but big jobs. So they had service guys, but the service guys were just running jobs for them for their new construction, for doing repairs and callbacks and warranty calls. So it really wasn't a real service company as far as that goes. Build a service bit like most people do. So we're gonna go to the next one. Maximizing profits on every job and every call that you go to. You should always look for every opportunity to maximize the revenue on every single job you go to. That is your number one thing. Think about every time you go into McDonald's, you go into Burger King, you go into some place where you're talking to a person. What do they always say? Would you like to make that a large? Would you like to add a dessert with it? Would you like to do this with that? Or you're at a nice restaurant. What do they always ask you? Would you guys like something to do? What would you like to? And they can show you a beverage menu. They can show you an alcohol beverage menu. They can then when you get to the end of your meal, hey, so what do you guys think about dessert tonight? They're wanting to know, what do you want to do about dessert? The goal is, are you maximizing what you do on every single job you go to? No matter what company you are in, what kind of business you're in, you can find ways to maximize everything you do inside your business. Everything you do in your business can be maximized for higher profits, for higher margins, for more money, but you have to know what to do. You have to know what to maximize and how to maximize those things. So when we work with our clients, we teach them how to maximize every single job they go to so they can teach their employees how to maximize those things. So looking for the why, let's say it's a service, you're out there for a problem, and the problem is something's breaking down and you're fixing it. So we always look for the why. The why is how you maximize what you do. But also we look for opportunities while we're in the home. Let's say you're a service home provider, like a plumber, electrician, HVAC, or something like that. And you go in the house, or even a carpet cleaner. And while you're there, you say, Ms. Jones, look, we do offer free home visual inspections while we're here. We can do a complete visual inspection of your electrical system or your plumbing system or your HVAC system while we're here. We're looking for opportunities. We never lie. We always tell the truth. We always treat every single job like we have a camera on us. watching us at all times because we always want to be ethical. When you do a free home inspection for a client, you're looking for actual things that are possibly wrong. Now, there's also things that aren't wrong at all. Let's say this. Let's say they got a perfectly good water heater. Let's say you're a plumber. You got a perfectly good water heater in the house. You walk into the master bathroom, you see a giant bathtub. Giant bathtub is really cool. It's really awesome. You ask Miss Jones, hey, Miss Jones, I noticed you got this big old bathtub here. This is really beautiful. I love this. Do you guys ever use this tub? No, we don't ever use it because we never really get enough hot water. So now, there's nothing wrong with their water heater, right? Their current water heater is perfectly fine, but it doesn't give them enough hot water. So that's an ethical opportunity to present to them to, well, have you considered putting a tankless heater in where you can have endless hot water so you can use your tub, you can take a shower, your kids can take a shower in the other bathroom, and you can run your dishwasher and your laundry at the same time. Have you thought about that? So do you see what it is? I look for opportunity. And no matter what kind of business you're in, you know what opportunities lie there and exist. It's your job to present the opportunities to the client and let them see what it is you offer. One of the biggest things we teach our clients is to use what we call we do more cards. We do more letters. I want you to list out all the services that you guys actually offer so that when you're in front of a client, when you walk into the house to look at extra, whatever job that is you're looking at, you're going to tell them, right, hey, Ms. Jones, look, I know that we're here to look at this, but while we're here looking at this, I'm going to just go ahead and give you a list of the services that we offer. So if there's anything else on this list that you need, or you want us to look at while we're here, we'll gladly do that for you. But right now, just go and look over this, and we're going to go take a look at what we came here for, okay? Great. So once again, I've given them the opportunity to see a list of all the services that we provide and offer. Your job is to give them the chance to tell you yes to all the things you offer. If you don't do it, all you've done is cheated the client out of an opportunity to do more with you, and you cheated yourself out of an opportunity to generate more revenue on a job and maximize your profits. That's the key. You have to go out of your way to do more for that client and let them know all the services you offer. I have a client who does construction. Love these guys to death. They do fences and they do decks, they do remodels, they do handyman for all these different things. But their clients did not know they did this. So we had them create this we do more letters, and their clients are like, holy cow, I didn't know you did this. I didn't know you did this. I didn't know you did this. Just because you think they know, don't assume that. Now, us owning a plumbing company, what we found was that we would go out to a client's house. We're there for a water heater. You know what they'd ask us? Do you guys install toilets? We're like thinking to ourselves, isn't that a no-brainer? Isn't that a no-brainer that of course we install? We're a plumbing company. Or we're doing a toilet, and they would ask us, do you guys install water heaters? And I'm thinking to myself, it's crazy. But people just don't know. So don't assume they know. Give them something they can look at. Remember, when they're looking at it, think about this. When they're looking at it, they're going through this whole process of like, oh, you know what? I never really considered this, but yeah, we probably do need this. Or we might need this, or we might need this, or we might need this. Give them a chance to look at all the different things that you guys offer as a service while you're there working on the other thing, because then that's your chance to maximize it. So, Ms. Jones, look, I noticed I found what your problem is, but we're giving you this list. Did you see anything else on there you'd like us to look at while we're here? Oh, yeah, by the way, I wouldn't. I was thinking about this. We had this problem the other day, and I didn't think about it, but I'm so glad you gave this to me. It makes the difference. Small things make the biggest difference for your business. Don't ever forget that. The small things make the biggest difference for your business. Maximize, maximize, maximize. Look for opportunity, look for opportunity, look for opportunity. Don't cheat the customer out of a chance to tell you yes to more opportunities that you guys can offer the customer. It makes all the difference in the world. All right, so next one. Here we go. So your job is to inform the clients all the different ways you can work with them, right? We covered that. But do it. Remember, we talked about the very first of this call. Implementation. Failure to implement. More people don't implement the things they should do, so therefore they stay where they are. When you start implementing these small strategies, you implement them daily on every single job. I promise you one thing. When you implement these strategies, it is going to change the whole dynamic of your business. You're going to change how you do business. Your customers are going to love you more. They're going to see that as you way more valuable than you probably thought you were, because you implement small things in your business. Now, we also teach sales psychology in business. We teach technicians how to use sales psychology to walk into a customer's house, to create the connection, to create such a connection where that customer loves you instantly, where we get a 5-star service. We provide a 5-star service and get 5-star reviews every single time we're at a client's house, all because of the standard we have set, the systems and the processes we use to walk into that client's house and to offer them the maximum amount of opportunities and maximize everything we do, from our service to what we do for them and what they do for us. Remember, money exchanges hands when a problem is solved. But what if you can solve more problems while you're in there and exchange more money versus just solving one problem? Your job is to maximize everything that you do. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about here today, guys, is this. Finding the right talent. We hear that all the time. There's just nobody out there. Well, there's people out there, they're just not working for you. They're working for somebody else. So there's always people that's out there. Now, there may be a limited in construction and trades. We've seen that the average age in the trades is between 45 and 60 right now, which is sort of sad. So many opportunities in the trades. But once again, we look at finding the right talent. It's more about training the talent that you have to become the right talent in your field of work. Whatever it is you're doing, your job is to make it so entice them so much to where they want to come work for you, that they like you so much, they want to come work for you and only work for you because of what you provide them. People will come work, even if you don't provide benefits, people will still come work for you. You know why? Because they like you. They like who you are. They like the opportunity that you give. So part of finding the right talent is what you pay your staff. If you're cheap and you don't want to pay them nothing, well, I promise you, you're going to get what you pay for in many cases. In more cases than not, you're going to get a lower end of the quality. But now let's say you got lower end of the quality, but can you train that quality into becoming the best? But what happens when you train them to become the best, if you don't take care of them financially, when they become the best, they go somewhere else. Almost every time. If they become really good and competent at what they do, competent and confident, just like that, they'll go somewhere else because you did nothing to make sure they were taken care of financially. It is your job when you look for talent to make sure you financially compensate them accordingly, but also understanding your cost of doing business. In your cost of doing business, everything you charge your clients should be based on your cost of doing business. When we work with a client, we help them figure out their cost of doing business. We give them a business expense worksheet. We give them a labor calculator. We give them all these tools that they can use to figure out what they should charge. What they should charge is so important because what they're charging is going to make the biggest difference in the world. Because if you're not charging what you should charge, you're going to be losing money. You can't pay your clients, you can't pay your technicians more or your employees more, from your office staff to your field. So you have to charge accordingly based on your cost of business and where you need and want to be in your business. It makes the difference. Finding the right talent is easy to do when you know how to take care of the talent. You can list ads on Indeed, Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, every place under the sun where ZipRecruiter, where you can spend money to list ads. But at the end of the day, the right talent could be sitting right in front of you right now. It could be your current staff that you have, but you're not taking the time to train them. We always ask 3 questions. When I think of an employee, we ask 3 questions. Does the employee know what's expected of them? Number 1. Has the employee been trained to do what's expected of them to a competent level where you feel comfortable that you can trust them 100%? Number 2. So number 3 is this, is the employee willing? In almost all cases, the employee is willing, but in most cases, the employee doesn't know what's expected, nor have they been trained to do what's expected of them. So it appears you have less talent because you've never provided better expectations, nor have you provided the training for them to be great at what they do. If you've not done those 2, it doesn't matter whether they're willing or not willing. You've just cheated yourself, and you're cheated your employee of an opportunity for them to be great. Your job as an employer, as a business, is to make sure you provide great expectations that are upfront with your staff and the proper training to where they're competent to do what they need to do. And once you're sure they're competent, they can show that they're competent, then it becomes a willingness issue. So when you think about finding the right talent, think first, is what I have the right talent already? And am I the problem where I'm not training them to be better at what they're doing and to set higher standards for my staff to work within? All right, guys, so listen, this could be the end of this webinar. If you want to work with me as a business coach, I would love to work with you. We love working with our clients. We offer group coaching programs, one-on-one coaching programs, mastermind groups, all these different areas we offer for our clients because we want to make sure you get the highest value. You just have to shoot me an email, shoot me a call, shoot me a text, whatever. This is my phone number, 314-591-0479. That's my cell phone. You shoot me a text, say, hey, Eric, I want to learn more. I want to learn more about how I can work with you. I want to learn more about how we can work together. My company needs your help. I need your help because we're willing to train your company, train you, train your staff, whatever it takes to make your business grow. We can create a customized plan just for you. But at the end of the day, nothing gets better until you get better. And most importantly, I want to say this to every single one of you who watches this webinar. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, because without you, we have no business. You are the reason we do this. We love every single one of you. And thank you so much. My name is Eric Rios. I'm with the Winning Life Group. You can go to my website, thewinninglifegroup.com. Look me up, see what we do. We would love to serve you and your company and help you grow and maximize your profits on every single job. Can't wait to see you on the next one.